Hi, grade 7s. Today what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of subtracting with integers, and we're going to use something called counters. So the first thing I'd like to just bring to your attention here is you can see if I use blue dots, they're going to mean positive numbers. If I use red dots, they're going to mean negative numbers. So let's just try a quick question here. Let's say, for example, I was going to subtract -4. I'll just put brackets around so everyone realizes that's -4 minus a +2. So how would I do this? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually draw it out for -1 values. So here's my -4. I'm using red to show negative. And you can see here pretty clearly, bring back my white chalk, that this is -4, clearly. Now when we subtract, it means take away. So I want to take away 2 positive ones. Now here's the problem. I have 4 negative ones, but I don't have 2 positives. So this is where this model, you have to do something kind of interesting. You have to make 0, and this 0 ends up being really powerful. So how do you make 0 so that we actually have 2 positives kicking around? Well, let me get my blue out. Here is my 1 positive. Here's my 2 positives. But I want this to add up to 0. So I'm going to bring in 2 negatives as well. Now, just hang on. Let me try and explain this. Because if you get this, I think you get the idea. This is equal to 2 positives. This is equal to -2. If you remember your 0 principle, two positives and 2 negatives add up to 0. So what I have done here is I have made this whole value here is equal to -4. But I added 2 positives so that I can take them away later. But when I added 2 positives, I had to add in 2 negatives to keep this at 0. So the whole thing is worth -4. Now, I'll try my best to explain that to you. But if you get this, all of a sudden the light bulb goes on. Now, I can actually do the last part of this question. So this whole thing is -4. What do I want to do? I want to take away 2 positives. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get out this beautiful orange. I'm going to circle these 2 positives, and I'm going to show an arrow that I'm getting rid of them. I'm throwing them away. So what am I left with? I can now get rid of 2 positives. Well, I'm left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what color are they? Red. So they're negative. So what's my answer? -6. So there's one weird move here to actually make 2 positives that I want to get rid of so I can pull it out. Let's try one more question. See if this will help you make sense. So let's try, I'm going to take +3 and I'm going to subtract 2 negatives from it. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to draw out +3. So I'm going to get out my blue pen. 1, 2, 3. See my 3 dots. Okay, so I got +3. But I want to take away, you can see here, I want to take away 2 negatives. And you look at my picture, well, +3 has no negatives. So this is where I need to use my 0 principle. I want 2 negatives so I can pull them away. But to bring in 2 negatives, I need to bring in 2 positives. Because what ends up happening here, and I hope you're starting to see this, this is equal to 0. So this whole thing here, I've got 3 over here, I've got 0 over here, so the whole thing's worth 3. So this picture here is actually worth 3. But the cool thing with it, I'm going to grab my beautiful orange here. I want to throw away 2 negatives, because that's what subtraction means. It means taking away. So I want to take away 2 negatives. So I'm circling those 2 negatives and boom, throw them away. What am I left with? Well, you can see here, I'm left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're blue. So I'm left with positive 5 for an answer. Well, I hope this gives you a bit of a feel for how to do this with counters. What I would like you to do here is I'm going to put up a multiple choice question, and I want you to give it a try, write it out on paper, and then you'll have a chance to see if you actually did this right. Have a good one, grade 7s.